Welcome back to Terror Tales. Tonight, we take you on a journey through a spine-chilling legend of a ghostly train that roams the tracks, bringing terror to all who encounter it. This story begins with a routine train ride that quickly descends into a nightmarish encounter with the supernatural. Gather around, turn off the lights, and prepare for a journey that will leave you haunted by every distant whistle. It was a cold, foggy evening when I boarded the last train out of Hollowbrook Station. The platform was deserted. The only sounds the distant hoot of an owl and the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. I was headed home after a long day, and the train ride was supposed to be my chance to relax and unwind. Little did I know, it was about to become the most terrifying experience of my life. The train rattled along the old tracks, its wheels clacking rhythmically. The carriage was nearly empty, save for a few weary travelers. I settled into my seat, gazing out the window at the dark landscape whizzing past. The fog swirled outside, thick and impenetrable, casting an eerie glow over everything. As the train approached a lonely stretch of track known as Black Hollow Crossing, the air grew colder. A chill ran down my spine, and I noticed the other passengers beginning to shiver as well. The train's lights flickered, and the carriage was plunged into darkness for a brief moment. When the lights came back on, I saw a figure standing at the end of the carriage, a tall, shadowy figure with glowing eyes. The figure seemed to flow towards me, its presence cold and malevolent. I could hear whispers all around me, growing louder and more insistent. The other passengers seemed oblivious, their faces blank and unseeing. Panic set in, and I tried to stand, but my legs felt like lead. "You should not have boarded this train," the figure whispered, its voice echoing in my mind. "This is the Phantom Train, and you are now part of its curse." Desperate to escape, I forced myself to move. I stumbled through the carriage, the whispers growing louder with each step. The figure pursued me, its hollow eyes burning with an otherworldly light. The train seemed to stretch endlessly, each carriage filled with more ghostly passengers, their faces twisted in fear and despair. In my frantic search for a way out, I stumbled upon an old conductor's compartment. Inside, I found a dusty journal that belonged to the train's original conductor. The journal detailed the tragic history of the Phantom Train, a train that had derailed many years ago, killing everyone on board. The souls of the passengers were said to be trapped, doomed to ride the ghostly train for eternity. The journal also revealed a way to break the curse, a specific ritual that needed to be performed at the stroke of midnight at Black Hollow Crossing. It required a piece of coal from the original engine, a pocket watch from the conductor, and a lantern that had once illuminated the tracks. Gathering my courage, I decided to follow the instructions. I searched the train for the items, the ghostly figure always just behind me. I found the coal in the old engine room, the pocket watch in the conductor's coat pocket, and the lantern hanging from a hook near the front of the train. The clock was ticking, and I had only minutes left until midnight. As the train approached Black Hollow Crossing, I set up the ritual, arranging the items and lighting the lantern. The air crackled with energy, and the whispers grew to a deafening roar. At the stroke of midnight, I began to recite the incantation from the journal. My voice trembled, but I forced myself to continue. The ghostly figure appeared before me, its eyes burning with rage. "You cannot escape me," it hissed. "Your soul will be mine." With a final, desperate effort, I completed the incantation. The air grew colder, and the figure screamed in agony, its form beginning to disintegrate. The train shuddered, and the ghostly passengers around me began to fade, their faces relaxing into expressions of peace. Just as I thought the nightmare was over, the train began to pick up speed, moving faster and faster through the foggy night. The lights flickered again, and I found myself in a different part of the train, a luxurious dining car from a bygone era, complete with crystal chandeliers and velvet curtains. The car was filled with ghostly figures, all dressed in elegant, old-fashioned attire. The atmosphere was one of eerie celebration, as if the spirits were reenacting their final moments. I could hear the tinkling of piano music and the soft clinking of glasses, but the faces of the ghostly passengers were anything but joyous. They seemed trapped in a perpetual state of fear, their eyes wide and unseeing. I realized that I needed to find a way to stop the train, to bring it to a halt, and break the curse once and for all. The journal had mentioned a fail-safe mechanism in the engine room, a way to manually override the controls and bring the train to a stop. I made my way through the opulent dining car, the whispers of the ghostly passengers following me. In the engine room, I found the fail-safe mechanism, a large, rusted lever that looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. The ghostly figure appeared once more, its eyes burning with rage and desperation. It lunged at me, but I grabbed the lever and pulled with all my might. The train shuddered violently, and the lights flickered one last time before plunging into darkness. The ghostly figure let out a final, agonized scream, its form disintegrating into a cloud of shadow. The train slowed to a halt, and the oppressive weight lifted. I stumbled out of the train and onto the fog-shrouded platform at Black Hollow Crossing. The first light of dawn was breaking on the horizon, and the air was filled with a sense of peace and relief. The legend of the phantom train would live on, but the souls of its passengers were finally free, and I had survived the night. Stay tuned for more spine-chilling stories on Terror Tales. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you the most terrifying tales from the darkest corners of the world. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of sheer horror and suspense. Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Sweet dreams if you can.